For today's project, we will be working on replacing the air horn on this Wabash E8. As you can see, the air horn is missing. I lost the air horn while painting it. I was holding a pair of tweezers. The grip slipped and it went pinging off into some deep, dark reaches of the room. So I went ahead, ordered some Kato air horns. And these are not the style that came with the model locomotive, but that's because when I was doing research, it came to my attention that this locomotive had 2 single chime air horns and not a 5 chime air horn. Now the first thing we're going to do is fill this hole. And I do have a number of options for doing that. Okay, first option I have is the Mr. Hobby dissolved putty. Brushes on. Goes on real smooth. But I prefer to use it for hairline seams and really small holes that are smaller than this one here. My other option, or one of them, is perfect plastic putty. Now this one here is a good putty. It's very thick. It is useful for filling in large holes. You can actually, once it is dry, carve it and recreate a brickwork or some other detail that may have been lost. Now what we are going to use is from Vallejo, their plastic putty. It seems to fall in between these two. It would be perfect for the job like this. The one thing is that it does not dry to a rock hard consistency. But for our application, that's just fine. So let's get started. Okay, to apply it, I'm going to just use a toothpick. Open it up. Yeah. Squeeze a little bit out. That's a bit much. And just gently dab it into the hole. That. Try to smooth it, fill it. Okay. Now all we got to do is just let it dry. Hello and welcome back. I've let the filler dry and went ahead and sanded it with 1000 grit sandpaper, wet or dry. And I sanded it down till I could see the shape of the original hole, and it feels smooth. Okay, I'll set this aside for now. And to paint this, we will use Apple Barrel 205 26E Country Gray. Apple Barrel 21484 Admiral Blue. Apple Barrel 21885E Jet Black. We will mix these by eye and hopefully get a good approximation of the gray on the Wabash unit. Let's go ahead and get started. First thing we'll do is take our palette, set it there. Yep. Okay. And squeeze some out. Okay. Might not even need the black, I'm hoping. We'll put some blue in it. Off to the side here. We'll try it with a toothpick. If that doesn't work, we'll mix it with a brush. And we'll check every so often and see if it matches. Okay. There we go. Got a fairly good match. So let's get the horns out and paint them. Okay, here are our horns. Let's get started. All right. This is the completed, the painted horns. Let's trying to give this plenty of something else for the camera to focus on, like maybe the horns. Let's see here. All right. Okay, all we need to do now is let them dry, and then we'll install them. Welcome back. I've went ahead and painted the horns. I've actually added a little bit of a wash to the bell. And if I can get this spotted right, you should be able to see down there. And notice that it's now got a little bit of extra depth. Okay. Now I've taken and put some masking tape on there to help me locate the holes for the new horns. Nothing fancy really. I spent some time studying pictures of various E7s and 8s and decided that the rear mounting hole is generally in line with the rear window post of the door, of the cab door. And that the horns would generally be in line with the fan, with the edge of the fan box on an E8. So I went ahead and used that to mark them off. To determine the front one, what I'm going to do is set points on this equal to the distance between the two pins, and then we'll mark that off once we drill the back hole. Now to drill it, I'm going to start with a number 71 drill, and I think that looked about right when I was looking at them earlier, so we'll go ahead and start with that. And the trick here is to let the drill bit do the work. You don't want to push too hard, you just want to give it enough pressure to keep it in place. So we're going to put that in the corner here, formed by the two pieces of tape, and just, okay, that wasn't tight enough, so it went up into the pin vise. The drill bit went up into the pin vise. Let's try that again. And just let it drill in. Okay, and we're through. Let's lift the tape here, clean up the hole a bit. Let's go ahead and remove one of the horns. And that's why I like this spur here. I can actually paint it and not have to worry about touching up the paint when I take the horn off. Okay. What I'm going to try to do is see if the hole is adequate for the pin, but that may not be entirely possible here. Might need a better tool here. Not too worried if I'm damaged the paint. I can mix it up and touch it up once we're done. Okay, I think that'll work. In fact, I think it might be on the big side, but I plan on gluing them in anyway. Let's go ahead and put this back down. Oops. Okay, let's line it up. I want to double check before I measure. Double check before I drill. You know, measure twice, cut once. Okay. Take that. And okay, we made him a little tiny little mark. It's not going to show up, but I can see it. Right there. Okay, and drill some more. Okay, the second hole is drilled. Looks like it's a little bit off, but hopefully there's enough slop in there we can hide that. Take the horn, and the fireman's hide horn will be facing backwards. So we'll put it in, we'll test fit it. And we're off. Just by a little bit. Let's see if we can stretch the hole a bit. Tape's kind of lifting the bell out, and it just needs to be a little bit pushed over, but once it's glued in it'll be fine. Woo! Flew off, but not too far. I'm going to go ahead, turn off the cameras, do the other one, and I'll catch you in a few minutes. And I'm back. The horns are installed. I've touched up the paint, and it's ready to go. And that's all there is to it.